Some say you can't judge a book by its cover. I say, what is a cover? Welcome to Cover Court. The Castlevania series. Legendary for mixing a ton of Western horror fiction with Japanese-style writing and awesome explorative gameplay and tense action. It's hard to find anybody who doesn't like at least one entry in this almost 30-year-old franchise. It's beloved for good reason. However, while the games themselves tend to be very solid, the series is also full of some really bad cover art. So, in time for the month of spookiness, this is Cover Court's 10 worst Castlevania cover art. Caught this in session. Number 10. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow in its second release for DS. There. That's the one you all wanted. It sucks. No surprise. Now that we have that one out of the way, I can keep you all focused. From here on, they're actually in order from bad to worst. Number 9. The Game Boy Advance title Castlevania Circle of the Moon is one of the series' more forgotten entries. It's not bad by any means, but it does lack some of the charm of the better entries from the same era. The box art for the West was acceptable, but nothing special. As for the Japanese box art, at first glance this is not that bad. It's well drawn, it puts our hero in the center of the action, and... wait, why does Dracula have a face growing out of his eye? Yeah, for some reason they felt this bloke should cover up half of Dracula's face, but also that they should have matching hair blending together to make arguably the scariest Castlevania monster yet. For shame. Number 8. Mention Castlevania 64 and you have a horde of angry fans telling you how bad the game was, and with good reason. Bad camera, bad controls, uninteresting visuals, and not even that good of a soundtrack. While ambitious, it was not a game that anybody could really care for, and as for the box art, well, Europe got a pretty cool one and Japan did fine, but North America, well, they got this garbage. An oddly placed CG render of Rudolph, or whatever his name was, on the side with a badly textured castle and forest behind him. And why is the castle glowing? Why would you ruin the composition of a shot like that? This is terrible! Number 7. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a classic that defined an entire genre by stealing another game's gameplay and adding more numbers. It's fun to play and did a pretty good job in the artwork department. The original PlayStation release had nice cover art and so did the Saturn port. But what about the Xbox 360 HD re-release? We don't normally look at digital artwork, but they're still technically covers. This incredibly boring shot of Alucard in front of Castlevania... wait. They mirrored the castle! That background is from the North American box art, but in reverse. And the logo is barely readable. Who approved this? Why did you make it look like... yeah, like that? Oh, so Japan got good artwork. Thanks, Konami. Number 6. I'm not personally a fan of Super Castlevania 4, but it has its fan base. The game is essentially another retelling of the original game with more things added to it, Resident Evil remake style. The box art in the West is pretty good, with Simon looking badass and fighting monsters. In Japan, however... okay, Simon, not to alarm you, but your arm has gotten really short, and I think your torso is slowly inflating. Hey Dracula, give me a second to pin... holy shit, Dracula! Get those fangs filed down, they'll stab yourself in the gums at this rate. You both look ridiculous! Number 5. Terrible God of War ripoff Lords of Shadow is a game I barely want to call a Castlevania game, but I don't have much choice. My distaste for the garbage game aside, it did have really nice art direction. The hand-drawn concept art for the game were gorgeous and would have made really nice box art, so naturally they used a crappy CG render of Gabriel Belmont onto a boring dim blue background for no good reason whatsoever. This is a perfect example of a lazy cover replacing great artwork. Why not just get your great artist to draw Gabriel standing like that if you want? Yeah, like that! That's much better, what's that from? Oh, the PC release. So you just didn't feel like using it before that? Okay, fine. Number 4. The second Castlevania for Nintendo 64 was partially an enhanced version of the first game and partially a new story. It was much improved, but still not that brilliant. The box art in the West is okay, and it's pretty good. And not really interesting enough to be bad, but it's okay. As for Japan... oh... now this is a bad CG fest if I ever saw one. Nothing here looks good, not even for its time. The late 90s loved floating CG heads in darkness, but this is just ridiculous. Please, Konami, stop using CG renders entirely at this point. Number 3. There's nothing I can say about Castlevania Judgment or its box art that sums it up any better than just looking at the art itself for a few seconds. Yeah, that's good enough. Number 2. Once again, we're looking at a digital release, this time of DLC for last year's Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. I honestly didn't think this image we're about to see was real when I first saw it, but it is. This is the promotional artwork for Revelations, the DLC pack where you play as Alucard. I'm not sure what's worse, the badly placed CG render or the weird flat blood splatter applied with bad brushes just here and there for some strange reason. What the fuck? How was this? Why? Before we get to number 1, here's an honorary mention that would have made it to the top had I not thrown it out due to being a collection of multiple games. The Castlevania Double Pack for Game Boy Advance. Chances are I might even have made it into the number 1 spot. It's that bad. Here we go, number 1. So what could possibly be worse than all of this? Well, when I began gathering box art for this list, I didn't even know about this one, and now that I do, well, hold on tight. This is Castlevania Lords of Shadow Special Edition. No, I didn't say that wrong. This is the Special Edition. Only released in Japan. How do you create this and think it's okay? This was actually on store pages. This is still on store pages. This is used today. How, Konami? How is this okay? Explain this to me, Konami. Why aren't you listening, Konami? Answer me, Konami. Why? You're all guilty. Court dismissed.